Hey, I'm Clement Connor, the CEO and founder of Fastlane Drive. I'm really excited to be on the Simon Katz podcast today to talk about the benefit of Fastlane. We're going to talk also about the Centurion, American Express. We are both older, so it's something that is pretty cool, the pros and cons, and also all the benefit to be on private clubs like that.
What's up, guys? This is Simon. Today I have a very special guest here, Clement Connor. He is the owner and founder of Fastlane Drive, which is an exotic car club. He's also an American Express Centurion member. So you got two Centurion members on the podcast today. It's going to be incredible. Some of the things we're going to talk about are going to be not only credit card related, but running a business and also being part of an exotic car club that's very unique. So thank you for coming on the show, Clem. I'm super excited to have you here. I think this is going to be one of the best podcasts that I'm going to do. So I really hope you enjoy it as well. Thank you for coming.
No, thank you, Simon, for having me today. I'm really excited to be here. We are a good friend. When I knew I was coming right away, I told you, hey, I'm here. You're like, let's do the podcast. I'm like, let's go for it. So thank you.
It's going to be one hell of a show, guys. Okay, so I got my questions. First thing first, we're going to talk about the Centurion card. I mean, my following on the channel has been really about credit cards, and there's this crazy infatuation with credit cards. People love them, particularly the Centurion card, because it's so hard to get. It's exclusive. It's almost exclusive, say, like your car club. And it kind of goes along with that level of Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and Pagattis, and all these cars. So I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to quickly answer that one. How did you get the Centurion card? And it's a funny one because I'm patting myself on the back.
Yeah, so it's because of you. But let's restart how we met. So, you know, I'm a big fan of American Express. I hope, and we will, it's a vision board for myself that one day American Express will sponsor Fastlane, because I think if people don't have an American Express, they're doing a mistake with all the benefit we have, all the advantages, also sometimes the statue. And, you know, American Express is a really amazing company. Every time I have an issue, I call them, they help us. So, you know, I was a big spender on American Express through my companies. I have a few through my personal. And I really wanted the Centurion, the Black Amex. You know, it's a goal from since I'm a little kid. And I started to follow your podcast, your video. I really loved it. And I DM you. I'm like, hey, can you help me? Can you give me some tips? Same minute you answered. It didn't wait too long. And we started to talk. We had a phone call. You helped me with the process. You told me what I should do better, what I should not do. And right away, like pretty much we started the process with Centurion. I qualified because I had enough American Express. I was referring a lot of members and friends to American Express. I also had a different type of American Express. What is really important is just not one card. A lot of people think, oh, I have one Amex, so I deserve it. No, it's actually a lot of different steps. And after when we reviewed with American Express, they approved me. The only issue when they approved me, you remember, they approved my business and not my personal. So I was like, oh no. So I had this moment of joy. I was so happy when I got the call. And finally, I explained them the situation that I wanted for personal. I think is way more valuable than a business. And took 1 more week, and I got the call again, and they're like, okay, we approve you this time. So you have to do again an interview with American Express to get it. And now it's been almost 2 years with Centurion. So
and just to add to that, you know, Clem reached out to me, and a lot of people reach out to me because of that video, surprisingly. So everyone wants to have it. Not everyone qualifies. Obviously, you were very well qualified for it. But you reached out, and I looked at your profile and said, this is an interesting guy. You know, this is someone that I would like to have as a friend, or someone that I want to be acquainted with. He seems to bring good people around him. I recommended it. We went through the process. I had, at the time, and still do, a very good relationship with my account manager. And I said, hey, I think we have a really good candidate, and I'm glad you got it. And, you know, guys, I don't know how many podcasts there are where two Centurion members are talking about the Centurion card. But, you know, it's an exclusive club, and it's a great club that you're part of as well. So let's get into some more of that. What are your most benefits? Because people have seen videos of people putting out, you know, this is what the Centurion card offers, including myself. And a lot of the people on YouTube don't even have it. So I kind of gave that first person perspective. But what are some of your favorite benefits about the Centurion card?
So I think it's being a preferred member from American Express, that helps a lot at the generality. Like the real small perks, people think like it's amazing, it's going to change your life. It's not. While it's good, I have a direct line to American Express. I can, if I have an issue with my account, if I have something happening right away, they're going to resolve it. For example, I brought my computer screen during my trip to France. A pine cone fell on the computer screen. Did I have warranty on my computer when I bought it? I call Amex the same minute, they help me. Wow. So it's something, you are a preferred member. When you call them, they know your names, they know where you live, they know everything. So you develop this relationship that I think helps. After, of course, you have some perks that are really good. For example, I buy a lot of clothes from Saks Fifth Avenue. I get $250 credit. So it's something that is really incredible. I also travel a lot now for Fastlane. Every weekend I'm gone. So my number one priority in my life always been health. So now I have also Equinox everywhere in the world. So when I'm in LA, I can go. When I'm in Miami, I can go. I don't pay for that. It's pretty funny because
it's a worldwide membership.
And I don't have an Equinox in San Diego, but I'm a worldwide. So he helps a lot. Also at Equinox, they treat you better when you arrive. For also all the advantages on the miles, on the other perks, you have it with other card. I have a gold, I have a platinum, I think I was calculating 10 American Express today. So all the perks, sometimes you have better perks on the other cards. And we can talk a little about that. But for example, if I buy a high-end items, sometimes it's going to be better to buy it with a platinum because you're going to get 1.5 miles. If I buy it with a business, I was giving myself a refund before with a black one. And the problem about it, with a gold, I get 4 miles.
I know, it's crazy.
So you are like, I think the whole system with the Centurion is amazing. The wow factor is something really important. I think it's a club inside Fastlane of who has a Centurion. And actually, we have a lot of members with Centurion, so it's really hilarious. But I think for the perk, sometime for the miles, they could do a little more for the Centurion holder. I know when you get an airplane, you're getting 25% of your miles back. But if you look at it, for me, my whole system with miles works better with Air France because I get 1.25 a point when I transfer to Flying Blue. So pretty much I fly for free now. I have my whole system and we can go that with Air France. I know this is your main business and we look sometimes, but my whole system with Air France, when I went to the opening of Fastlane Monaco, my plane ticket, one trip cost me $350 and
for the taxes and fees,
and a 110,000 miles total round trip.
Wow!
So it's a $2,000 plane, not even like $1,500 plane round trip to be in business. So it's just incredible.
Which is by the way, Air France is a great business class. It's not like a United business class or something domestic.
And if you are lucky, it happened to me a lot of time. Is if you the day before, you can upgrade yourself to first. So it's going to be another like 100,000 miles, 150,000 miles. But the first Air France is one of the best in the world. So all these perks help a lot and how you build it. So
that's awesome. So I will add to that. Yeah, it's really weird. The highest credit card that they offer, which is a $10,000 one-time initiation fee now, it might go up again, and it always does, right? And then a $5,000 annual fee actually sometimes does not offer the best reward points for your spend. So it's kind of ridiculous. And maybe there's a reason or some math behind it that we both don't know. But sometimes I do have that same issue, which sounds like, of course, a first world problem where do I pay with the black card or do I pay with the gold card or the platinum? And you have to know what programs are going to pay out more. That's what you should pay with.
And it's a really good point. So about 6 months ago, I started to look at specialized websites that help you to calculate your miles, the best reward with everything. And I put that, I think, on the Point Guy's website. And I realized that I was like far off on everything with a Centurion. For example, groceries, I should be on an everyday card. Like all my ads I was paying with my Centurion. And I spend with Fastlane, we spend about $20,000 to $25,000 a month on ads. And I was like, okay, I'm doing a huge mistake here. So I transfer actually all Fastlane into the ads management to a gold card, and that is 10 times more benefit. So now I can go back to Europe for free every time with all those miles.
That's so funny and awesome. And you're absolutely right. Once you study it, you get more out of it.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is they don't tell you about it. You know, It's not like I personally have an experience, but I have asked them in the past at Centurion, and I said, which card should I be using for what? And they give you kind of a generalized answer, but not that in-depth answer if you do your own research as, hey, you probably don't want to use the Centurion to buy this, this, or this. For me, with the Centurion card, it's I think people take you seriously. So you own Rolex. Yeah. It's a nice Rolex piece. I've seen you with other watches. But when you present that Centurion card, they take you a little more seriously. Would you say that's accurate?
Yes, and it's actually a really good point on a lot of other things. So people think, oh, you have a black card, it's going to open your door and everything. People don't really react as much as you think they are. When you go to pay for a restaurant, at a bar and everything, people don't really realize because the reality is the majority of people don't really know. It's like, yes, you have this idea, but they are not like, oh, wow, he has one. I have a couple stories. For example, we went to a restaurant that I go all the time. That day, the server was in a really, really bad mood. I'm really nice to server because I used to be one, so I understand the difficulty of that job. I'm extra nice to them. They were in a bad mood, whatever. I give my Centurion card to pay right away. The whole energy change. Oh, wow, I'm going to get a big tips today. Yeah. So you saw that. The club inside Fastlane, for example, last time I was paying something, someone saw it and said, oh, how did you get that? So higher end people know about it and they know how it is. But it's like when you have it, it's more self-confidence and that helping you. However, I saw when you're getting a loan now, when I'm getting a loan for a car or getting a loan for a house or whatever, I see that I'm approved way easier since a year and a half.
Really?
And I was wondering, the people who are looking at your credit and doing the underwriting, they probably look at all your credit card and they see that you have a Centurion on your report.
So I'm not too sure. I don't want to comment on it, but I will say Amex is a harder credit card to get approved for. And I don't know if it distinctly distinguishes whether Centurion's on your credit or not. But what I love about Amex is, I've been an Amex member for over 15 years, maybe even longer, since I was very young. And I have someone coming on the podcast, actually, my brother-in-law, he just got a platinum at 18 years old, which is incredible, right? Yeah. But I've been a member for a long time. And what I noticed is on your credit, if you also get like an Amex Blue Card, at these zero annual fee cards, your credit history quadruples or triples or how many cards you open up. They'll take your longest credit card that you've had and they'll multiply that credit history for some reason. Correct. And they'll say members since this time. Having a Centurion card is definitely beneficial when I do any meetings or I tell people I'm a Centurion member. The people that know, like you said, they go, wow. The people at restaurants, now you've been a member for 2 years. I've been a member for like 10 or more years. So for me, I used to get a bigger kick out of it back then because there was no heavy credit cards.
Yeah.
Okay. So when every credit cards back then were plastic, and when you would present the metal credit card to a Starbucks or to anybody, they go, "Wow, this is a heavy card." And then Chase Sapphire came in, and a lot of these other cards that are heavy. So that kick or that drive or that excitement from a person holding a heavier card has really diminished. So
I'm going to rebound on this one. Yeah. If American Express, you're listening, we love your brand, we love the Centurion, go back to the old one.
Heavy.
And I told that to my personal person at and they say, we hear that every day. Yeah. They want it back. They say like it's too light, it's not. So the effect on the previous one was way more important than
way more important. It just, you know what it felt like? I had a JP Morgan Reserve card. Yeah. That card is like 30 grams. I believe this one's is about 12 grams or 14 grams. So half the weight.
Correct.
If not even more. The JP Morgan Reserve felt hefty. The feel of that, and Amex, I hope you're listening, it feels like a gold watch versus a stainless steel watch. So if you're going to spend that much money, make us feel like we have a gold watch, right?
Correct.
Cool.
And for example, they have some perk. One of my good friends, his name is Josh, has one for business. Yep. He only pay for travel with point from Amex because he get 50% kickback when the personal is only 25. So when you look at it, even for Amex will be better, and I'm sure they do that for some reason, because maybe the one who have Centurion don't look as much as, regular people for what they're getting on miles. Yeah. The reality, I also live for the miles. I love to travel. Now it's helping me a lot. I do not pay for plane ticket or almost not paying. So for that, it's really incredible.
Let's ask a question on that. Yeah. How many miles do you have? I mean, you're running a successful company, which we're going to get into. You have another company that you started in the past. But how many miles do you have?
I think I'm close to 4 million right now. Wow. I like to save. It's like my personal money. Yeah. I like to save a lot. So, for example, when I spend 1 miles, I'm be sure that it's like spent for the right reason. So I don't want to send it to spend it on something like, like paying back the statement or something. It has to be really specific and based on the travel. And also I see it as like a little treasure. That's something. If one day I really want to offer something to someone, I can do it. So when my friends are traveling, when my business partner is traveling, and they want to have an upgrade, I tend to do that a lot because it's also something that is really beneficial for everybody and that they're going to remember. When I think the best investment that you can do for yourself is to travel in business or in first, because you're going to work so hard every day of your life to not have to travel back. Yes, exactly.
You know who said that? An editor put it in. Steve Harvey said that.
Yeah, exactly.
Once you sit in first class one time, the next time you get on a plane, it's very difficult to walk past them seats. And then your mind starts thinking of ways to get back to first class.
This one.
Yeah, he's amazing. And he has a crazy work ethic too, which we could get into with yours. You're in shape, etc. But I agree. I think once you do something really nice, it's extremely difficult to go back to the plain side of life. And it typically happens, what I notice is it happens forcefully.
Exactly.
A divorce, a lawsuit, something dramatic happens where those people have to change their lifestyle, but it's difficult. No one does it by choice.
Yeah. And so on this one, if I do it for a friend who doesn't have the chance to fly business and you do it for them, they're going to remember for a really long time. And this motivation going to help them to work harder. So you're pushing your friends to do better. And I listened this one, I heard that one time and I love it. When you fly coach, you want to fly business. When you fly business, you want to fly first. When you fly first, you want to fly private. But when you fly private, you don't want to travel anymore. So the reality...
And we're going to get back to Amex. And you've flown private a lot.
Yes.
And your Instagram, you will put up your handle, or what is your handle on Instagram?
Clement Connor. So CLEMCNR.
Perfect. And I've seen a lot of plane private travel, and it looks like everybody's having a good time. Tell us a little bit about that, and then we'll get back into the Centurion.
So it's interesting. If I go to Europe, I will choose probably much the first Air France over private jet. I never experienced that. I was about to a couple months ago. It didn't happen. Someone had a Falcon that was coming back empty to go to Europe at the same time that I was going.
Wow.
And that person told me, hey, if I don't sell it, you can go into it, just pay something to the crew and the day, 2 days before they sold it. So unfortunately, I could not do it. So today with Fastlane, we realized that there is a lot of private jet company that, want our members and want us to be part of it. So we have a company that's called SetJet. We use a lot between San Diego and Arizona, Vegas, and everything. And usually you buy the seat on this one, but we charter because we're always 14, 15, 16 people. So it's something that is really good. You have also a company that you can look online when they have to take back the plane to a destination. Mm-hmm. The plane cost, they rather to sell it for 1/5 of the price. So it's something that we know how to manage and look at it. You have a lot of Uber app for this one. So that's good. We have a lot of members with private jet in Fastlane. I would say it's about 5 to 7% of the member in Fastlane have private jet. Wow. So it's something, you are invited a lot. And I have to say it's really addictive because it's a time traveler. You go to a place, you don't have to do the security. You can leave and departure all the time.
I was just going to ask you, what are some of these benefits? So you don't have to do the security. So you can bring something on the plane that you love. You can. What else? What are some of the benefits that you've experienced?
I have a couple really funny with private jet with Fastlane, so I'm not going to mention his name. He starts with a G. And one of my really good friend and favorite member, he's the best of the best member, won the trophy of the best member a couple years ago. And on Friday, he said, hey, I bet $1,000 with my wives, I will make the private jet back. And we had Sunday morning, we are all together. We're coming back from Vegas. We're in this at the lobby of the Wynn in Las Vegas. You were actually there that weekend.
That was a fun weekend.
So yeah, that was a fun weekend
for me.
And we cannot find him. Impossible. Like we call his phone, we call him, we call the hotel, we go to his bedroom. Nobody is there. And someone, a random person, like a friend of a friend, bring his phone and say, hey, we have his phone. So we are like, oh my God, what is going to happen with him? And we arrive at the airport and we see him. He's there.
Oh my God.
And pretty much we're like, what happened to you? And I need to be sure I'm not saying who is he. And he was like, we were in the nightclub and I was so scared to lose a bet with my wife because it's not a question of money. It's like I lost it. That I went straight from the nightclub to the airport. So he was waiting all morning for it.
Oh my God.
And we had two private jets. So one was going back to San Diego, one was going back to Arizona. And the one from Arizona was missing one person. Yeah. Same thing. He went out. He's like, something happened. He couldn't wake
Vegas.
up. Vegas. And the security went to his bedroom at like 12 and the plane was supposed to leave at 11. So the magical part about that, everybody waited for him. It was fine. He would have been a regular company. He would have had to stay 24 hours more. He had a really important meeting the next day. So the time that he saved on this one was absolutely incredible.
So does the private plane company charge more if someone's late or it depends on the situation?
The company that we use usually don't, because the reality of it, we have really good relationships. They want us to come back. And, it's part of the service after. If you have 6, 7, 8 hours late, and they have a charter after. It's a huge issue. They have to pay the pilot. They have to pay the crew. They have fees at the airport. So, that's going to be... And we have also really respectful members. So, for example, if we go to a private jet, the day before, I'm going to say to my members, hey, dress well, tips the crew, be sure that to be respectful, don't get drunk into the plane. I don't drink alcohol. So for me, see drunk people around is really hard. So we're trying to tend to be respectful. And again, we go back to it. It's members. So people are part of the club. They don't want to have issue with Fastlane. So they are usually really respectful people. And when we tend to have issues, it's actually not with members, it's with co-pilot or random people who are like, kind of crashing the party because they don't have this.
And we're going to get into Fastlane, and if he's talking about Fastlane Drive, which is the exotic car membership, look them up on Instagram, Fastlane Drive. What I really like about Fastlane, just to add it while we were on that topic, is you guys have a lot of women as part of the group or membership, so which is really unique, and I got to experience that as well. And usually car clubs, they don't.
So I was at a dinner last night and I said that 25% of our members are women. And he said, is that a lot or not? I'm like, think about it. And he was like, if you were asking me the question, I would have thought that it would have been 5%, 10%. And I said, no, we are 25%. And we are actually the biggest women car club in the planet.
Wow.
So we try to accept more women than other car club. We put them in the front of other members. We do drive only for them. We're trying to do charity for women. It's really important, and it's something that is pretty cool because you have a lot of different energy in the club having women as drivers.
I think women make the world much better.
Yes, I agree. And the thing about it, cars, men, and money makes a lot of high testosterone. So having women on the drive also calm down the same thing every time. I try to have police escort, police talking before a drive, because having like this type of energy with more women, nobody wants to impress each other in the club.
Yeah. And they're also behaving more.
Yes, like behaving more.
They're not going crazy or
exactly.
In some instance. I mean, listen, no matter where you're raised, when you get 20 guys together, one of the 20 might go off the rails. I believe with a woman there's some type of neutrality where they calm people down, and they're all beautiful. So that doesn't hurt. All right, let's get back into that. I want to stick to Centurion because we kind of jumped there. Favorite lounge in Centurion. You've traveled a lot. You mentioned you've been to, Paris, Air France, etc. You've been to Vegas. They have one there. San Francisco has one. You're in the Bay Area right now. So what are your favorite lounges or most favorite?
Yeah, so Vegas, I didn't experience it because when we go, I have a rule. I don't go to Vegas except if we go in a jet. Yeah. It sounds bougie, but the thing is, after you party, you are tired, and a lot of time you have chance to miss your place. So I don't have the chance to try this one. But the one in LAX is really good. Not the one from Centurion, but the partnership that they have with this one.
With the private rooms, which you pay more.
Yeah. Yep. The one in Paris is not Centurion, but is a first class one. And this one is absolutely incredible because you have a Michelin chef who cooks for you.
Oh, wow.
The omelette is absolutely delicious. You have fresh orange juice and everything. So this one is really good. What I saw last time, it was so funny. I was in Austin and I go to the lounge and it's a huge line, like 30 minutes line. And I do it, I'm not like type of guy. And I put my Centurion out to get into it, and the woman freaks out. She was like, no, next time, please, don't do the line, pass front of it, just show it this way. So you see that the treatment is a little better. After I had my personal server all day, they felt so bad about it. So.
You are a lot nicer than I am because I hate waiting in lines. Yeah. I cannot. It's one of my worst things is just to wait in line. I've been there before when I couldn't afford to get in anywhere. And you could, especially in Vegas, you could spend hours not even get into a nightclub. And I remember those days.
But you know me, I'm low profile, even on the daily driver, on the life. I don't want to be causing issues. No, it's important.
I like that about you.
Yeah, thank you.
Me, I'm like, hey, I'm not going to wait in this line. I'd rather not go. But that's a different perspective. And listen, there's nothing wrong with either one. It's... for some reason, lines and very crowded places freak me out. I don't know. All right, let's go to the next question. This one's going to be a good one. I've done a video on it myself, but a lot of people ask, whoa, you have this really cool credit card. What's the most expensive thing you've ever bought on it? Obviously, on the internet, people from Dubai or wherever, Monaco, Europe, even in America, they buy some really expensive art.
Yes.
I think the biggest purchase was around $200 million or $100 million on a credit card. That's just ridiculous. And I've known some people or heard some people have bought a Lamborghini with their points. Yeah. What have you bought? What is the most expensive thing on your credit card?
I'm going to disappoint you, but it's Facebook ads. I spend so much money on Facebook ads. No, but reality, I'm a big watch guy. I invest a lot. Something to mention, all my watches are at the bank, unfortunately.
Very good.
When I wear one, it's on me. And a lot of time now during the week, it's even at the bank. Yeah. I will have an Apple Watch or nothing. So we live in a crazy world today.
And I want to add to that, guys. If you have a watch collection, Clem mentioned it here. I do the same thing. I don't keep that stuff at the house. I've seen people get robbed, and there's a lot of bad people. Smart to just go into the security deposit, pull it out, and then wear what you want. It's just part of the process, or plan it.
And 90% of the time, I walk in the street. I don't have one on me. It's at the bank. And number one rule, you can have the best house in the world. You can have the best guard dog. Leave it at the bank. Go change. It's something major. So the most expensive, I will say, is in our watches.
Which watch?
I maybe the one I'm wearing. This one was my dream watch. We talked about it when I got it.
Yeah.
So actually, this one is a pretty funny story. So my friend Jacob and Josh got me the watch from Rolex of San Diego.
I wanted that watch and I could not get it, and they discontinued it. So Kyron, my watch guy, if you're listening, I'm really disappointed. And my wife wanted it, and I've been on the list. So it's a beautiful piece. For those that don't know, it's a green or olive dial Daytona, all gold. It's gorgeous.
Yes. And so the day I got the Centurion a week before, they surprised me. I don't get the call actually. I go there to actually give them a Christmas gift. And they arrived, the watch was there. You know, I waited for 2 years, was my dream watch. I was obsessed with it. They are actually the dealer of John Mayer, because he's called the John Mayer.
Wow. Yep.
So it's something that is pretty cool. It's a watch I wear on really special occasion, because it's my dream watch. It's my favorite watch. You know, awesome. If I had to keep two, I will probably much keep this one and the Panda. They are like something that are really unique and important for me. So I got the watch the day before, and I always going to remember, because my statement closed at 24 and it was the 23rd. And I'm like, oh no, geez. It's a big one. So should I just, and the car was not active yet. So I was like, what should I do? And I'm like, what's the difference with 1 month? So that was one of the biggest purchases I did. I did also down payment on cars. Okay. That is part of the negotiation. Down payments on, every time I can use it, I negotiate with them. So for example, I bought a car a couple months ago, and I told them, hey, the down payment has to be done with my Amex. So this way, also, you want to stay in good standing with Amex. You want to show that you can still spend, and you are still spending, and you are paying right away. So it was really important that every time I buy, I do that, and I get the extra miles.
For you, and especially with the amount that you guys travel with your company, it makes complete sense.
Correct.
Does the car dealership charge you a % on the Amex?
It's a negotiation. So I told them, no, if you do that, I don't want to be part of it. Is watch, boat, whatever, is if you charge me a credit card fees, I don't charge credit card fees usually. So
I know something about you, and you've told me before, and I've asked one of your friends, FX.
Yes.
I believe I met him once. What would you give up, your G23 or your Rolex watch? Now we're talking about his beloved boat, or his beloved watch.
It's really hard question, because watch are investment, and it's something that is a little different. So it's like it's a currency. You can trade the currency. The reality is
what makes you happier?
The boat, like by far, is I always say I will drive a Prius and be on a bicycle every day, even if fast lane is my business and I need a car, before I give up my boat. This is my happiness. This is my low times. This is something, that, watch give you pleasure, but this one give me health, give me socialize. The day I got my first boat, my dad said, this is the best investment you ever did it for yourself.
Nice.
Number one, you're always going to be out on the water, so you're going to have vitamin for your body. Number two, you're going to have to stay healthy, because you cannot be looking bad on a boat and wakeboarding and water skiing being fat. So it's something that is incredible. He said, you're going to socialize with people and have fun with it. So it's something that is really great. For business relationship, all my members, not all my members, but a lot of my members are coming on the boat. My client for the marketing agency are coming on the boat. Investor from the SaaS business that I have are coming on the boat, and they love it. And it's actually a great way to demo music with that incredible sound system. And this energy that you're putting together is actually a really good investment. You're not going out, you're not going to restaurants, so
and you feel refreshed after. I owned a boat. I used to store it in my old warehouse. Obviously, this new building is a different building, but my dream's always been to get a boat house or a lake house.
I have one for sale right now, so if you want to, it's perfect. But in San Francisco, it's going to be hard. But that's the point. So now we have a partnership with a local dealer. It's called M2O, and also Nautic. So they're going to help us to get more boat every year. Yes, because the synergy is absolutely amazing. We had a yacht party last week. We took the new boat out. People were wakeboarding, wake surfing. And in the same time, those customers are customers who buying boats. So, we realized that it was really good. So they're giving me incredible deal on this boat.
And I want to add to the audience, because they may, when Clem and I are talking this, because we've done research on the boat, we both know what Nautic is, and the G23, the G25 Paragon, etc. It's the boat's about 200,000 plus.
Way more now. They increase the price. Now a Paragon is $500,000 plus option.
Wow.
They just released a new model 3 weeks ago. It's incredible. We talked a lot with Nautic. We talked a lot with local dealers. And I was with another dealer than my dealer yesterday. And we talked with Miami, because now Miami is kind of doing the same thing for Fastlane, because it's the same thing. And obviously, it's no competition between San Diego and Miami. So they're actually helping each other. They said to sell for $500,000 million nautics boat is going to be really, really hard.
Wow.
But you have people who are going to do that out there.
Yeah, and
mine is
Pavati sells like a $500,000 boat as well. Very luxurious. I mean, these are wake boats or ski boats. Miami, obviously, I love Miami. A piece of my heart's there every time I go. And
Pavati for me is people who like to party but don't like to wakeboard or wake surf.
It's more
Nautic for me is like the Graal. My favorite band is like American Express. When I was a kid, to tell you the story, I had a huge poster of a super Nautic in my bedroom.
Wow.
So for me, it's like having that today is good. Another story, I worked a full summer as a painter when I was 16 years old.
Oh, wow.
And we had a summer house and I bought a really tiny boat with a steering wheel. I wish I could find the picture. And on the side of the boat, it was like a 9 horsepower boat or something, like really small. I put a huge Correct Craft logo on the side. So that was used to be called Correct Craft, not Nautic.
Yeah.
So the vision board of your life is always really important.
It's like a vision board. You visualize it.
Yeah.
And you did it with the Amex Black Card. You've probably done it through your whole life. And,
Correct.
I tell people all the time, no dream is impossible. You just visualize it. You work for it, daily improvements. But that boat is wonderful. And that's why I asked that question. I said, the watch or the boat? You've said the boat. FX was right. He knows you very well. All right. Let's get back to the Centurion. And let's talk about some of the downsides of the Centurion. And we're not going to Amex is Amex. But what are some of the problems or improvements you could think Centurion could make, particularly Centurion?
So number one is I think that you'll change a card. If you have the wow factor, it's no wow factor anymore. I mean, it's cool, but weight. It's like the weight. Mm-hmm. And go back to the design of before. So that's number one. Number two is I think is sometimes the concierge takes too much time.
Sure.
So if I want a restaurant in emergency, I have more chance to, with my contact and my connection, to have a place at that restaurant than calling Amex. It happened a couple of times, and finally they offer me different restaurant and option. I say when I want to go somewhere, it's because I want to go somewhere. So last time I was in Arizona, I wanted to go to Toca Madera, and I call Amex, and it was like 9 a.m. I say, hey, can I get a table at 8 p.m.? They call me back at 5, say, hey, we cannot find you a table. So I was like, okay. So they offer me other options that are like not what I wanted.
Yeah.
I called 2 people and I got a reservation at 8 p.m.
So
2 hours
crazy.
later. So the reality that is sometimes I think they have a relationship, but sometimes if you do it long time in advance, it's amazing. For example, I went to Paris. I sent an email with 6 restaurants I wanted to go. They booked everything. Everything was super well handled. No issue with that. On day-to-day basis is a little issue. The last one is I think when you have a high purchase, something over like $10,000, they should have at least the same benefits on the platinum. It's like the 1.5 is something I think it should be a little better and other way to get more reward on the refund.
I agree. I will double up on pretty much everything you've said.
And the last one, and I forgot, the last issue that has Amex is that they don't sponsor Fastlane Drive.
Oh yeah,
I
that
think
could
it's a target market and is a great community.
One, absolutely your target market. That one could change with time. I'm sure as you keep growing chapters, and we'll get into that. I'll agree. I think the weight of the card, it's slimmed down. So it went on a diet from years before. And then at the same time, I will say that sometimes the concierge, depending on who answers, now they're not robots, so they're not there 24/7. But you get a really good concierge at times, and then you get part of the team, someone that, listen, people have different days in their life and so forth. They just don't seem as they've given you as much attention. So of what you're expecting. And like you said, when you're reaching out, you're usually probably thinking this is a problem-solving experience for me. So I'm reaching out to my concierge thinking that they're going to be able to do something that I might not be able to do in that moment. And in your case, it was reversed, but that's what you're hoping. And sometimes they fall short. But for me, it's pretty much those two. I would say I can deal with the weight of the card being a little bit lighter, although it's kind of pointless, like it should be heavier. But then I can't, I rather have the trust that the concierge is really going to do everything they can to help me out. And it obviously is a numbers game. And then you had COVID, so people were working from home and so forth. And Amex was one of those companies that did have a lot of people working from home. So maybe that'll change as things progress. Let's ask another question about the Centurion. What is a common misconception, or what did you think before you got the Centurion card? What was this myth about it that you thought was to be true, and then when you got it may not have been true, or the reverse, you didn't know that was possible?
So it's a couple of things. So you think that people is going to open you more door at restaurants, nightclubs. I don't go to nightclubs, so for me. But when I do, is actually they want you to spend more. So it's really interesting. It's a double edge because I see one. So then, like, actually, the one who know the most about credit cards are nightclub hosts. So when you go there and you give an Amex, they want you to spend more automatically. But at that time, they're a little nicer. When we went to Vegas together, like we went to see the Chainsmoker at the XS, and I give my Centurion. I mean, that woman was treating us really well. She was probably treating everybody well, but you see that she was a little more pushy than everybody else.
Of course.
But the misconception, yes, you think that when you go in a restaurant and you pay, that you're going to attract people who are going to say, oh, wow, you have one. I think people sometimes look, but it's not like something that is a game changer. But for self-confidence, and that is really important because life is about self-confidence, if giving you the edge also on a lot of time to say, hey, look, I have that, and it's helping me to push it a little better, And I see it with friends because you can only add 2 people to the Amex, and a lot of them ask me, can I be on it? Can I be on it? The reality, it's a high risk because especially this one, I prove over time. For example, when we went to Vegas together, I put everything on my Centurion for Fastlane. It was a $110,000 weekend. The spending, not the income. So it's absolutely incredible. The credit card worked without any issue. So
any challenge,
so if I put someone, also it's you need to have a huge trust into it. And
when you do that, by the way, it raises your threshold. Like you getting back to what you were saying with the credit card, you keep proving that you could pay it off.
Correct.
And then they're going to keep raising your limit. A lot of people, there's a misconception that it's a no limit credit card, and that's not the case. Amex typically takes your 12-month average spend, and then they see where the threshold is. So if all of a sudden, you're averaging, say, $50,000 a month in spend, but 1 month you're at 150, it's going to throw off a flag. And I've had that happen to me where all of a sudden they close the card until I pay down some of the balance. Not close it, but suspend it, so to speak. And then I pay it down, it quickly reactivates. And it's because of your 12-month average spend. I'm sure if you call them in advance and tell them, hey, I'm buying a Ferrari and it's going to go on this, it's a different thing.
So that happened, and you can show proof of income before. So if they are scared, you give them a statement, a credit card receipt or something. Over time, it didn't happen on this one, but one of my business, we bought some things that month, so we spent a lot in marketing. And I think they called me and say, hey, careful, you might hit the limit. So I paid right away all the credit card, and when we went back down. I have a rule also on all my credit card, and maybe some people will say it's not smart, but I treat them as debit card. So a lot of people,
smart rule.
Every Friday I pay off all my credit card, so I don't have debt. So sometimes for balance sheet, you are like, it's a little different because you think that you're losing a little more money. For example, for all my license for Fastlane, I pay all the ads for the 7 license. So it's a lot of money out every month, but I pay it and they pay me back a month later. So I could pay my credit card a month later, but psychologically, I don't want to have like $50,000 of debt if something happened. So I pay it week by week. Every Friday, it's an automatic payment of about the limit on it.
So to add to that, it sounds like what you're saying is your management of the credit card monthly bills really is reflective. You want to make sure that you have enough money to pay it off, and you pay it off before you have fun and go blow it or spend it or whatever, or invest it. And that's smart.
And that's a really good point also because, for example, when you get the Centurion, and I'm sure that happened to you at the first 2 months, you have a tendency to pay more.
Yeah.
So you are in a restaurant, you're going to invite your friend, you see something, you're going to want to put it a little more out. So you have mentally to go back down and say, look, it's just a regular thing. You are not someone extraordinary because you have it. It's just like you are good business owners. That's all.
And a lot of members are business owners.
Exactly.
And they know how to manage money, but I think the misconception is like, hey, you have a Centurion card, you could spend everywhere and blow all this money when in reality, they're your business owners. You have to budget properly, never overcharge on your card, and never buy anything on your credit card that you really can't afford to pay down within maybe a week in reality versus a month.
And that's a really good point. So I'm investing a lot of my money. I'm really like careful, especially with the period we live in. I spend like 10 or 15% of my income every month. I'm really, really careful. I don't go a lot to restaurants. I think my restaurants expense every month are like $1,000 or $1,200. So when you think about it, it's like with the lifestyle that we have, everything when I spend, it's calculated on a spreadsheet. I look at the end of the month and everything. So for example, my statement is a 24. If I do a big purchase, I'm going to be sure that it's a 26 and it's going to be paid by the next statement. So when my credit card closes, I'm at pretty much zero.
Okay, so last couple of questions on the Centurion card. We're going to talk about your entrepreneurial part, which is part of my channel, and then we're going to get into Fast Lane Drive a little bit because that's really cool. Is the $5,000 fee worth it for the Centurion card?
I mean, let's do the math. I travel a lot. I'm out every weekend. I go to Equinox. Equinox is about, depend what you have, but it's about
35.
Yeah, 35. So first of all, I have that. That's perfect. Number one. Saks Fifth Avenue. The $250, it's $1,000. I do use it every month. Uber, I do use it also. The other one, I'm Delta Platinum. Yeah. So now when I travel the world, I can go to Delta. I'm upgraded all the time. Also, you have special service. So that's valuing by itself a lot of money. Yeah. Marriott, Hilton, all those ones, Clear. That's really good. Yeah. I have, TSA PreCheck and everything. I maximize everything that I can do. And yes, the $5,000 is worth it. Yeah. The only thing is like they could do a little more on the miles because a lot of time I'm not using the Centurion, I'm using another credit card.
And yet you want to use the Centurion because it's like, hey, I have this cool card, but like, why do I have to keep it in my wallet?
Correct.
I shouldn't have that. I should at least get matched to what other card I have. And that makes sense too.
And I'm sure the regular, Centurion user don't look as much, but I was talking to a lot of them and, in Fastlane, we have a lot of Centurion users. And it's a funny story. The week I got it, one of the member of Fastlane called me and said, hey, congratulations. He didn't see my social and everything, but he got a call from Amex. Yeah. So I don't know how he discovered that, but he said, it's a small community. Yeah. And they all say the same thing. A lot of time for the concierge is good when they travel the organization, but the perk on the miles could be a little better, and they use another credit card.
Yeah, which is interesting. Yeah. And there are a lot of members that should have that card.
Correct.
Especially with the exotic car scene.
Yeah, and I want to talk a little about your business. You help people to save money on plane. Yeah. So, a lot of times it's also really important to save money on you. Going through your company. So I've used your service in the past. It's really incredible. Yeah. And I refer you some members, and I think it's really good.
And it's flightslux.com, which is the airline part of it. It's part of the traveler's agency. Luxury travel is what we specialize in.
And this thing with miles helps a lot also on my side. So yes, it's worth it. I think it's a good thing. And I was, I have big change in my life right now. I was like, I'm looking forward for the renewal in January 1st. And actually, yes, I'm looking forward.
I've always been, and I think this is a big thing. Like there are times, I've been a member for 10 years. You take, now it wasn't always $5,000 a year, but let's say it's $5,000 a year for 10 years, $50,000 in fees, right? For 10 years, let's say if you keep the card for 10 years. And I always thought, I was like, do I really need this card? Do I really need it? Should I let it go and just stick with Platinum, which is about $800 or $700 a month? And then I'm like, will I ever be able to get it again? Like, am I dumping like something?
And that's a really good point. So I have two conversations. One is with my friend Blaise. He's a member of Fastlane, and he has it since it's the opening. Yeah. And he got really annoyed because he was paying $1,000 per year for the card or something like that, and they increased it to $5,000. Yeah. And he tried to cancel it, and he still have it. Another friend, his name is Moses, and he canceled, and he said, "Look, it's a huge regret because now they."
They're strict about it. They say, hey, you dumped it, you dumped it.
So they are scared about it.
It's almost like having a good relationship with a Rolex dealer or Hermes or something, and you pass up on a perfect opportunity. They may not call you again. I don't know.
I have the story recently with Audemars. They offered me a couple watches. Yeah. The market is so unstable and weird. And the thing is, I don't sell my watch. I keep them. So it's a huge difference. Mm-hmm. Even if they are at the bank, it's pretty much something that I hold.
I'll add to that. You don't sell your watch, but you want to make sure the watch value stays in case you ever have to in an emergency.
Exactly. And that's what happened. So that watch, I was like, not 100%. It was a good investment. And I passed on it, and I think is different. With Rolex, my relationship is a little different. They don't offer me watches. I ask what I like. I'm not super demanding. I'm I think pretty reasonable on what I ask. I ask 1 or 2 watches a year. Yeah. I try to refer more people. Sometimes I want watches for members that I refer, but I told them I rather my friends to have it. Yeah. I think the pleasure to see my friends, the same thing as getting the first time a business, or first class, is the same thing, the watch. When I see all my friends getting a special Rolex or getting a first Rolex or getting something special, this happiness makes me more happy than myself.
That's so awesome.
If I really want something special, usually they are really nice to me. I dream of Le Mans right now. Realistically, it's going to be like a Rainbow Daytona, so I'm not going to get it. So what's the point to disturb your dealer every day? You have to understand, when you text him one time, he has 1,000 people texting him 3 times. It's really
enjoy what you have, and hopefully they call you.
Correct.
So that's great. We talked about the Centurion. Hopefully you guys liked it. Let's talk about Clem, his business, his entrepreneurial skills, how he got the Centurion card. So we're going to go into that. All right, let's talk about your entrepreneurial side. We've talked about the Centurion, the hardest credit card to get in my mind, maybe next to the JP Morgan Reserve, and there's some Royal Dubai cards, but we live in America. So let's talk about your entrepreneur skills, because people go, I want the Centurion, but they don't see the entrepreneur behind it. So give me a little bit of what you want to share about your entrepreneurial, how you got to this level, and then let's get into Fastlane.
So I moved to US 15 years ago, went to school here, opened my first business in 2013. It was a disaster, to be honest with you. We were doing printing, and I had a lot of issue with my business partner. So I met my actual business partner, and we created our marketing agency. And pretty much now is history. It's been 8 years, worked really well. We went up to close to 50 employees.
Oh, wow.
So doing local marketing and SEO.
In San Diego.
In San Diego, correct.
Mm-hmm.
And worked really well. A lot of up and down. People think it's a straight line. It's not. We never raised money. We always been bootstrapped. So it's a good business. I loved it. I always gonna have respect for it. And during that time, a third business partner joined us. And at that time, we went on a drive. We reward ourselves with a new car. Went on a drive. And 15 of our friends showed up. We had a cool breakfast, a nice drive, a cool lunch, and an amazing after party. And the next day, everybody was like, oh my God, we had the best time of our life. Let's do that more often. So at that time, we were doing marketing for a really famous luxury car brand. Mm-hmm. And the woman that was in charge, her name is Priscilla. I was talking to her yesterday. And we give her the idea of Fastlane, a really exclusive social car club, pretty much, where we can travel together, socialize together, exchange business together, a mix between YP, Soho House, and Gumball Rally. If they had a baby, that would be Fastlane. They loved it, sponsored us right away, and pretty much in San Diego went viral. In a year, we had 100 members, and we stayed really local. And during COVID, I was doing marketing for even bigger car brand, not bigger, but like different, is a little horse. So at that time, Fastlane became bigger, and I got sponsored by another company, and I was doing marketing for that company. And you know, during COVID, we struggled with Fastlane. Fastlane was having a lot of difficulties. We almost closed, but that brand, and thanks to Bill, William, at that time, really helped us to save the business because he was sponsoring us and he was continuing to support Fastlane. But in the same time, at that time, they were sending a lot of cars through Fastlane network. People were bored, so it's when it's starting to boom, and we realized that it was something. So they help us at that time. So 2020, Fastlane is at an edge. We are like, should we close? Should we not close? What we should do with it? But it was always more like a side thing that, you know, help us to meet people, bring some leads for the marketing agency and everything. And at that time, I got the luck of my life. One of our members, Ian, moved to Arizona and partner with and didn't partner, but like asked me, can I open the license over there? And I opened the license. He partnered with 3 other gentlemen, John, Jamie, and Thomas, and that was a winning team. Those guys were really connected. We had a really good marketing strategy in Fastlane, and pretty much it didn't go viral as fast as in San Diego, but it grew up really fast. They were really good at curating members, at choosing the right members, because we are extremely exclusive, like Centurion. You need to do an interview. You need to go online. We just got a really famous actor a couple of weeks ago in Fastlane. He did it. You know, he pays his membership.
He still had to go through the process.
He has to do the process. And when I say really famous, it's like everybody knows him. So, you know, it was something that it was pretty cool. And we saw that the model was working. So after we decided to open Los Angeles, Los Angeles, we had some difficulties when we opened because Los Angeles people have too much things to do. So you have the Lakers, you have the Chargers, you have like a baseball team, you know. So the thing is a lot going on. So the reaction in LA was a little more complicated. So we changed the target market and we went for people who just relocated to Los Angeles, and that changed completely. And at the time, when you are big in LA, people automatically want to come more. So it's really interesting.
It's like the hype.
Yeah, compared to Arizona, it took us more time. Now it's been 16 months we have LA, and LA, the demand is incredible. Like just since this morning, I have about 20 applications in just Los Angeles. After that, it went pretty natural. Giovanni moved to Vegas, bought the license. Same thing, we realized that actually on city like Vegas, Arizona, people have less things to do. So they want to meet new people and have more activity. So we worked right away. And after that, one of my friends moved to Miami, tax reason, obviously.
Are you purposely sending your friends out to good regions, or are they doing
No, they come to me, and at that time he said, "Look, I'm moving to Miami. I've been there 2 times. Can I open Fastlane? It would be great to open my network." We opened to Miami, and that's been an explosion of Fastlane.
Miami's like the place.
Yeah, so Miami, you know, is like the demand is big. It's the biggest transfer of wealth of any country, anytime on any on the history. So a lot of people were locating, want to make friends. So the demand exploded. So we opened there, and Miami at that time we saw that everywhere was incredible. Yeah. So we continued this way. After I fly back to France, I have the mind to open Monaco. And I talked to some of my best friends, and I did it. Which is
incredible.
Yeah, and I did it as I pushed them. I did it the American way. I wanted to do the French way. They say, "Oh, let's do it in 2024." I said, "No, this summer 2023, you're gonna have," and I put on my vision board, 100 members at the opening of Fastlane. And pretty much, I don't know how, it was end of February, beginning of March, we managed to open the company in France's Tech Forever, Monaco, so Monaco, France. And we did the first event beginning of June or middle of June, and we had 75 people showing up, so 120, like 50 cars approximately. And that has been the biggest breaking point with Fastlane. Because having an international clubs help a lot in terms of marketing. Also,
especially
having there, I showed you the reel. Every time we do a reel for Monaco, you get 100,000 views, like 120. Yeah. So the marketing helps a lot in US, and the credibility automatically having this system. People in Monaco will come to US. We had already, but people from US really want also to meet people. So it works both ways. So after we were in the pipeline for DC, we opened DC a couple of weeks ago. The demand is humongous. Same thing with Austin. We still didn't have an event. We already have 20 members and the demand is high. And now we have Utah coming, New York, New Hampshire. And
so currently, you call them licenses, but let's call them chapters or whatever. How many do you have?
So as of today, we are the Friday, I have 7. Hopefully by Tuesday night, I will have 8. Hopefully by 2024, I will be at 12.
Okay,
and after I'm done for this year, next year will be Denver, San Francisco. I really want it. San Francisco will be the biggest market on the planet. People don't realize I did some research on SEO, Facebook, Instagram, and everything. So demand is really high. There is nothing like it here. Yeah. The thing we need to find the right partner, and they always came naturally. I don't need to force it. And after in US, you still have a lot of opportunity. You have Dallas, you have San Antonio.
Yep.
So you have all those cities that have high demand. People just relocated. They want to make friends. And after you have Canada that we can open, you have Singapore. Someone contacted me yesterday.
Singapore's a big market.
Yeah, and Europe is a little different.
London has a big car scene.
Yes, but I want to rebound on Europe. So Europe is way more complicated. I see it with Soho House. Soho House, American Express are really my model.
Yeah.
So we are the Soho House of Car Club. When you join one fast lane, you can go to any location around the world. And pretty much in Europe, it's harder for them to pay for a membership when it's easier in US because they want to be part of a community. So we integrating that, but right now I really want to prove the concept even more in Monaco, in US. So to go back to my entrepreneur journey, so we created Fastlane, been life-changing for me because...
So it sounds to me, and sorry to interrupt, it sounds to me Fastlane was kind of created because you guys enjoyed it, running a different business. And for a time period there, it wasn't the main focus of you guys until you really saw that it was taking off, like this could be something.
So and I can go back to it, but we have a third business. But about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, I did a leadership program. I was lost. I was depressed. I was burnt out. Business was struggling past COVID. We had a lot of difficulties, not automatically getting along as much with my clients, with the team. And at that time, I was asking a lot of questions to myself. Did the leadership program change my life, open my eyes? And I told myself, I need to focus on Fastlane. The opportunity you're missing right now is not about what you're doing today, it's what you're missing tomorrow. And that is really the most important.
That's a highlight, guys. Yeah. Which it's not what you're doing. It's not what today that counts, it's tomorrow that really counts.
Exactly. And my motto in life is I want the Clement of today to thanks I want the Clement of tomorrow to thanks the Clement of today. So everything I put in place for my health, for my money, for anything, I want in 20 years to say what you did today is really good.
That's
all
awesome.
the S, all the health, not drinking and everything. So the point about it is at that time I was like, okay, I need to do that. So I started to pivot. My business partner was nice enough to let me pivot. I still helped a lot in the marketing agency, brought leads, help on the daily basis and everything. And we realized that putting the energy in focus was really good. And I also learned something that is the most important in any business. I learned marketing. And during this 8-year journey with Smart Boost, I learned one fundamental aspect is marketing. So what is good about Fastlane today is really how, obviously, we create the members. I always say the most two important things are the members and the chapter owners, but it's also the marketing and the PR that you have around you. So how to brand yourself, how to brand the company, how to really respect, the police, a woman, the charity. We're giving a lot of time and money to charity. So really this entrepreneur journey was really, really important to me to get where we are today.
Yeah, and you guys do a very good job selling or marketing, I should say. The image marketing is selling. You're selling a product or a service or whatever. But you guys do such an incredible job of creating a community, a place where someone actually wants to belong.
Yes.
So let's get to...
And I'm just going to finish on the third business. So also during COVID, we started an AI tool.
That's right. I remember that. How's that going?
And that's going really well.
What's it called?
It's called soundful.com. So it's a chat GPT for music. You go in it and you create your own music.
Incredible.
It's doing fantastic.
Okay.
So it's really great.
What does it do? Give us a brief of what it does and why someone should check it out.
You are a music artist and you want to create music faster and getting some idea. You're going to have all the part of your music and you can get some ideas so you can refresh it. You are a video, you are a creator. So you are an influencer, YouTuber like you, or a lot of things like that. You have music with free right. So you can decide to register the music after, but that is really important into it. You are doing advertising, marketing, you're doing movie on everything. From this platform, you can take the music and use it for yourself. This is incredible music. It's created in 3 seconds. It's a music that will never be used again or never been used before. It's brand new, so it's really incredible.
It's insane how AI is kind of getting into everything. And in the music industry, I've been reading that people are making songs with like Tupac and Biggie and reusing his voice samples to create everything. So it's incredible.
Yes.
And with your platform, it sounds like they're having a better chance of generating a better song. Is that?
Yes, the goal is to help the artist. We are like Nike for the shoes. Can you run without shoes? Yes, for sure, but you're going to go further with the shoes and you're going to go faster. And pretty much is the same idea. We love artists. We respect artists. We want artists. We don't want to be against them. It's really important that we understand that the artists are really our main core. So we partner. I cannot disclose the name of the artist that we have, but our investor and our partner are the biggest name in the industry, like really the biggest name. And they love it because they realize that we are here for them to go further and faster and to pay less royalties. The Daft Punk is always my example. Their first couple album, 90% of their royalties were going to a sample. Yep. And the problem about it is it's not good. With our music and the creation that we have, the artists finally get their right, and we cut all the middlemen. A lot of times you are a singer, for example, and you don't know how to make music because it's not your core. You can go to our platform and create your music and adjust it. So you just need an adjuster. You don't have to pay like 5 people. So really the help of Soundful today.
You're streamlining the production of music and you're making it affordable, I would imagine, to the user.
And exactly. So to go back into it, we always really invested in our business to redevelop it. And we split the business 3 ways. So
let me ask a question on that because the viewers might want to know. So you mentioned 3 businesses.
Correct.
I mean, some people can't even run one business, right? And running a business, I think the failure rates are through the roof. How do you manage your time to have the 3 businesses and still give them enough attention to boom?
So the 3 really help each other. So first of all, we have 3 partners. We divided that by 3.
Nice.
Giovanni is in Smart Boost, Dia is in Soundful, I'm in Fastlane Drive. And the 3 help each other. So, when we, for example, the marketing was a lot done at the beginning for Fastlane by Smart Boost, so it helped me a lot. Also for the website design, everything was handled by the marketing agency. Now I'm going a lot in-house because I need daily basis, and the agency needs to focus a lot on the clients. That's a priority. The software was developed a lot by Smart Boost at the beginning. And also today, all the marketing from Soundful is made by Smart Boost. So it's something that is really incredible. And Soundful raise money through the network of Fastlane. So today it's also helping that into it.
That's incredible. So it sounds like, hey, if you're going to start a second business, have a business that's going to complement the next business. Don't branch out too far where you're going to do something completely irrelevant because you can't network off each other. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. And people they see the good things, but they don't see all the failure that we had. Yeah. So we created a soccer team with other people in San Diego. It's been a huge failure. We lost a lot of time and money into it.
Like a professional soccer team?
Yeah, it was called 1904 FC, was professional.
Oh, wow.
And we did all the marketing, we invested in time, and that has been a huge failure of our life.
You should have gotten Messi.
Yes, exactly. But it was pretty much the second league. So it was the reason the business model was more like to find players and to resell them to Europe. That has been a failure. We created supplement companies, been a failure. So through this journey also you want to learn And I can tell you something now for the rest of the next decade, my dedication is Fastlane, will be Fastlane. I'm focusing on that. I'm still going to help the other business. I'm still investing in real estate. I'm still reinvesting in like different, in different things for my personal. But in terms of business, I don't see myself recreating 5 or 6 other businesses because the reality when you have something magical, you need to focus on it. Can you stream revenues? Absolutely, and you should. But let's dip a big hole and not a lot of small one.
Yeah, and it sounds like you're not bored with it. You see potential. You could see it grow. You don't want to distract yourself with something else because you're very talented. So let's talk about. You mentioned becoming a member of Fastlane is exclusive. You have to go through the interview, and you even mentioned the celebrity you had to go through. So it's a fair interview process. Briefly tell me what you look for in a Fastlane member.
Someone genuinely nice. It's really important. Someone that can belong with other members. So the thing is, doing an interview when you arrive in Fastlane, right away you're going to be best friend with everybody. You know, of course, there's going to be some people that you're going to like more or less.
Sure.
But the thing, we've been pretty good at creating members over the years. Of course, we did some mistake. It's not never perfect. But the reality, I will say a lot of them are good. And usually when people are not belonging, they're not coming back. You know, it's like we see that. But the churn rate is really low. When people stop coming to Fastlane, is either they're going through a divorce. That's number one. Number two is they're selling their car, moving to Europe, moving to a different location. Now I have I'm moving to Miami, but it's good thing they have Miami. But so the reality is we really want nice and good people. That's really important.
Would you say you want people that contribute to your family?
Yes.
So that term gets used a lot, but this is like a secondary family.
So exactly. The number two is someone who's going to donate their time and really to give back. This is really important. If you go there and you just want to take, don't come to Fastlane. It's not really your place. Number three, we want to have someone who's going to bring value somehow. You know, it can be like, it can be a new business, he can help, he can contribute, he can, bring other members. So we want someone who's like somehow going to represent the brand Fastlane Drive everywhere.
In a good manner.
And the last one is a good car. So obviously, it's a good
That's my
one.
next question. What kind of car should you have? Do you have to own a car? Can you rent a car? So what kind of cars does Fastlane look for?
So you need to own a car, no rental. The only time we tolerate rental is, for example, when you went to Monaco, you cannot ship your car. So
you can, but it would be too expensive.
You can't. So a lot of people, no, you can't, because if you look at it, 90%, not 90, but I will say 80% of people finance their car. If you finance a car, you are not allowed to transport it to Europe.
Really?
So it's a really interesting point. We had a number that was about, you need a special permission, but it's a long process, so it's not worth it. So it's about $25,000 to ship it. So technically you could, but you need to own your car. We had a story with a member who has a SV, wanted to ship it. He realized, it's owned by a bank. And the bank was like, no, you can't. So the reality,
because they don't want you to take it out of the country.
Yeah, exactly. So you can have special permit into it. So that's number one. No rental except special occasion, but you need to qualify to join Fastlane.
What kind of European cars?
So the number two is European. Yes, but American car too. You can have a Ford GT, and you qualified for it. So mostly Porsche, Turbo S, GT3, GT3 RS, GT2 RS. That's
Lambos,
really good
Ferraris.
one. Lambos, Ferrari, if possible after 2016, because after it come with issues on the drive, the car can break down and everything. So we had a story with an Enzo. The Enzo had an issue on the drive, and it's car that are like so precious that you don't want to have issues.
I see.
We have a few Bugattis, a few Lamborghini, a few Bugattis, a few Paganis, a few Koenigsegg, but it's the same thing. We were in Monaco, and a member took his Bugatti on Friday to showcase it. Was supposed to come Saturday morning for the drive and say, it was raining. He said, Clement, I'm not going to bring $6 million on the road. So the reality of it is all those brands are good. We accept We accept Lotus, we accept Air8, we accept a lot of different cars, but it has to be an exotics. You know, we have a list on the website. We used to have a lot of application for Tesla, Corvette, and things like that. We don't accept it. And now,
even though Tesla spells sexy with their models, it's not I don't know if it's a sexy car, and I've owned a Tesla, but it's not your club.
No, but it's a good car. I have nothing against Tesla, and I don't want to get bashed on people telling me, oh, yes, it's faster than your Turbo S and everything. Yes, it's a fast car until the first corner. Are we going to accept the Roadster? And I said that for years. Yes, the Roadster will be part of Fastlane, but please release it. You know, the reality when people apply with a Model 3, a Plaid, and everything is not too much the acceleration. It's more about the turn and also the braking. So the braking is an issue. So now the Plaid is coming with a ceramic brake, so that can be eventually a possibility. But I don't think it's really...
I think Ian owns one, right?
Yes, exactly. Ian owns one. We use a Tesla sometimes as a press car because it's actually a good press car. If you believe so. The best press car is a Lincoln Navigator or X5M. Those ones are really good. But, you know, the car is a huge aspect. The Corvette is the same thing. I have nothing against Corvette, and it's a vote again. Fastlane is a democracy. It's not like you know. So every people vote. It was a huge debate about the Corvette. The problem, you have $40,000 Corvette, like you have $200,000 Corvette, and this world is like if you accept one, you have to accept all of them. So it's the same thing. We don't accept Porsche Boxster, and except like the new RS that just came, but that is a really exclusive one. So the problem is if you're opening the door towards this one is different. But do we make exception for cars? I mentioned that in a podcast recently. A member joined, she had an M8, 2 weeks passed, and she got 488. So the reality of it, a lot of time people going to arrive in the club and realize, you know, it's not the car that I should have, and they're going to change naturally if they can financially. But if they are willing to pay for the membership, to pay for everything, it's a little different. Let's
talk about, just to sum it up, you're looking for nice people, which is very good. They should have a smile on their face, maybe 60% of the time. Everybody knows life is difficult. A nice car, preferably an exotic type that you guys approve through the democracy. What's the membership fees look like? Now, these are going to change, but typically, what can a user expect from a membership fee? And you could go as broad as you want.
So I don't want to say that. We don't mention it anywhere, but it's an idea between a Soho House and a Centurion Card.
Okay.
We do not do the initiation fee like the Centurion. It's a little different. We don't do it for now. We might do it in the future because we want to be sure that they don't lose their membership. But we are not here to really take the money. We are here to give an experience. It's really important. You know, for example, the events are really inexpensive comparatively. I can give you an example. Monaco was 1,250 euros for 2 days for 2 people for Monaco, including the dinner, the breakfast at Fairmont, the lunch in a private beach in there. We had an after party in a house, and we went to Jimmy's. So it's really inexpensive.
I want to add something to that. When I went to Monaco with my wife, I've never felt more broke in my life.
Yes.
And I haven't been to Dubai, but that's understandable price.
So if you look at it and you know price, that's 600 euro, so $650 for 2 people. This is really inexpensive. So what we do, we leverage the membership and pretty much our sponsor to be inexpensive as possible. So we do not make money on event. We say when we break even on an event, we make money. So some event we can be positive when we have sponsors, when we do something special. But the goal is really everybody to have the good time. So the membership really helped to create a better experience, to hire a better team, to do a better event. I have a perfect example was a yacht party. Same thing. Can you imagine we had 2 massive yachts, was 131 feet. You know, the things you're getting with this membership, you cannot get it with other people.
You're building relationships with people that own Bugattis and Ferraris, and they sold their company for 50 million, 100 million. Some of these guys are in the hundreds of millions, I would imagine. So you're the mingling and the life advice varies. And I would say it's even not knocking down the Centurion, but I would say it's even more beneficial than a Centurion membership because you're there with that person. You could go and say, hey, I'm going to say John. I've met John. He was a really nice guy in Vegas. He's from Arizona. You could say, hey, I have this question for you. He's a business guy, or I have a question about a car, et cetera, and he's going to be able to answer it. With Centurion, I've met only a handful of members, and they do these events, but it's not as beneficial as a club like yours, in my opinion, because you could really get firsthand professional experiences.
And that's a really good point. I'm going to go back to Ian. Mm-hmm. Ian, as a Tesla and a 600 LT, was spending, and a house, was spending $12,000 of insurance a year on his 3 items.
Oh, wow.
He go through our partner, save $6,000.
Wow.
So his membership is paid for every year for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
He's coming, when he fly private, he's going to pay, for example, $600 for a private jet.
Yeah.
When he fly with us, good luck to do that with other people.
Yeah.
So the exclusivity. And we do event also, yes, we do have billionaires. Yes, we have a lot of wealthy people, but we have also wannabe people. You know, people who are like, have a good business, they just created, they just started.
They want to level up.
Exactly. So we need to be sure that those people can also afford an event. Yeah. And that is something that we really help everybody to do it. So I think it's all about value. When people say, why you don't do Formula One fast lane? I say, because it's going to be about $10,000, $15,000. For that type of money, I can have a private jet to go to Europe with a yacht and everybody drinking Dom Perignon and eating caviar. Of course, not drinking and driving. That I'm really strict about it. Yeah. But the point about it, it's about the value. And the value that we're giving to the members are really important. Also the connection, and I want to go there. So if you come to an event, if you participate, if you meet other members, the value you're going to get from Fastlane, it's going to be absolutely changing your life and be incredible.
Very good. Thank you for that. So the Fastlane Drive, you mentioned earlier that Enzo kind of broke down, I believe, or could have broke down. And the drive is actually a really good drive. I've been on the drive, so I'll comment on that. It's fun. My experience was we went to eat after, then there was a dinner, then a nightclub, and it was very nice people. Everybody was very welcoming, which is really great about your club. But give me a couple more experiences that people can expect from a random fast lane event. Like you mentioned the yacht, you mentioned the private jets.
So each chapter is different.
Sure.
That's really, each chapter has a different specificity drive. For example, Miami, don't expect to have amazing drives. That's not going to happen. It's a lot of red light. It's a lot of small roads, straight roads. So you're not going to join Fastlane in Miami to drive. Yes, you're driving together, but we need to always, every time, to have police escort. If you come to LA at the opposite, the drive going to be, and San Diego and Arizona and Vegas, the drive going to be absolutely incredible
because of the canyon.
Because of the canyon, and again, we don't drive fast on those roads. We're trying to drive together. But those drive going to be like scenic drive. You're going to go to Sedona. You're going to see like incredible things. What really matters for us is what's coming around. So, for example, right now we're opening Utah. The reason to Utah is because we want to go to snowmobile. We want to go ski. We want to do different activities. So, yes, we are a car club, but we are a more social club today, and those after party are incredible. So when we went to Vegas, we did an incredible dinner, 3-course menu. We went to a nightclub after. When we are in San Diego, we're gonna do a yacht party. It's gonna be like a house party. When we go to Arizona, it's gonna be a lot of racetrack. So, we love racetrack. It's something that is really important. So if you go with us to Arizona, they go to Apex a lot. We'll go sometime to Palm Springs at Thermal. So, we're really trying to do different activities based on where you are.
So it's more than a drive, it's the experience, and that's what people really love about the memberships and the people around them.
So Fastlane is about the people.
The people.
People. Yes, the car is an aspect. Even today, I have a story, but for me, the experience is about driving and the people. And I had a car that was sitting there for years. I just put it in on sale because just for me, the object doesn't matter. It's like a watch. He has to be aware. He has to be used. And the car is kind of the same thing. So Fastlane is really about the people, the experience, the travel, and the drive.
To drive. So that might even be like a middle component,
Exactly.
not the main component. That's good. All right, so let's go back to being an entrepreneur a little bit. I appreciate you explaining what Fast Lane Drive is. What are some of the mistakes you can say for the followers? Because let's say they want the Centurion card, they need to be an entrepreneur or sell a company, et cetera. What are maybe just some that comes to your mind? What are some mistakes an entrepreneur can avoid? And it could be as brief or as detailed as you like.
I will say, like, a lot of people, when they go from working for a company to working for themselves, they're going to get themselves a really nice office and hope to get nice computers. They're going to get a loan for that or invest money. I think it's like at the beginning, you need to do the dirty work, and I still do it in Fastlane. The jokes that we have is I'm the CEO, CMO, CTO, CFO. I'm the sticker guy. I can do anything in my business that nobody can do. Sometimes I do the social media. Sometimes I'm going to do the speech. Sometimes I'm going to go, we had a party in Los Angeles. I spent 4 hours the next day. I had a heartburn and I spent 4 hours cleaning the house, and I could have paid someone to do it, but I did it myself. So I will say the mistake is also try to look too good. Try to, be shiny. Try to really save money, and do the dirty work is what I will say. Like, be ready to really, really do things, that anybody in your company can do. And the other mistake is trying to save money on marketing. It's like, say, on reform, saving on marketing is trying to stop a watch to save time. It's the same thing. Marketing should be the essence of your business.
It will bring more.
It will bring more. And you can do mistake. You A/B test. So you can try with SEO, going to take time, but try with AdWords, try it with Facebook, try with magazine, try, the marketing, and you can market yourself. You are the marketing, you are your brand. So really, I think the biggest market is when people start a business is to look shiny, not wanting to do the dirty work, and try to avoid spending money on marketing.
And I'd like to add to that, it's I would say it's control your expense, right? So your biggest starting a business, people do buy a lot of different things, or they overspend to start the business without actually rolling up the sleeves and doing things themselves, and then buying things once they finally have some income to afford to buy those things.
And look too shiny. That's a really good point. I was listening a podcast last week about a really famous soccer player in France, and he said he lost everything. When he retired, his he invested a lot of money everywhere. His agent screwed him over. And he said, look, we all go through this phase where we want to be a little shiny. It's like you're going through the hard work, it's complicated. But I will say, save a lot, invest a lot, have cash flow, and really, yes, do you want to buy yourself a nice car? It's going to, regardless, help your business because the credibility, and also is believing in yourself. When you wear a nice watch, it's, yes, the world going to react to it, because at the opposite of the Centurion, nobody's going to start a conversation with you. The watch, the number of conversations that I have everywhere. You see a guy, you're going to see his 5712. You're going to say, "Oh, I love your watch." You're going to start to him. So the conversation on this one also really helped. And I say to a lot of time to young entrepreneurs, when I say we have the opportunity to get a watch, do it because it's good. But it's not just that. Also, it's investing in yourself. Dress
Confidence.
well. Trying to I've clean your teeth, white teeth is the little thing to try to be really healthy. It's not complicated, Cut a little the drinking, stop eating bread and pasta. Try to reinvest, go walk for an hour, listen a podcast, My health is my wealth. My number one investment, and I always say that to everybody, invest in that, because also is how you're going to reflect to the world. The energy that you are putting is really there. So for me, I wake up at 5 every day. I go to the gym no matter what. There is no excuse about it. And sometimes people think I'm a little crazy, but we go back to the same point. I want when I'm 70, the 70 years old Clement say, oh my God, the 35 years old of Clement was right. You know, he did cold plunge. Yes, it's not pleasant. He was doing jump rope. He was eating healthy. He was not drinking alcohol. But the reality is also, as an entrepreneur, investing in yourself is not complicating. Yeah. All my t-shirts are Fastlane. They are not expensive t-shirts. Yeah. All my t-shirts are white, ASOS or Topman t-shirts. They are like $5-10. You don't need to spend a lot of money on expensive things to look shiny. People who like Gucci or everything, they are the opposite than what you do. So invest in yourself and invest in your future.
And I agree with that. And it's people buy or spend so much money on clothes, and clothes are really nice. I think there's a place and time for that. I always wear a t-shirt too, and I still feel like, for me, a watch says a lot about a man. It's a respect of time thing. So if I was to invest, and I've had friends always ask, hey, what should I buy, a Rolex or a Patek or some other watch? And I always tell them, like, hey, that's a very serious statement. You could be in a boardroom, you could be in a nightclub, you could be in a nice dinner, and people will respect you based on the watch. They may not know the brand of the shirt you're wearing. Finally, last question here. I had a question in mind about Fastlane, what separates you apart, but I think the viewers will get that opinion because it's a club, it's a family, it's a gathering.
And it's nothing like it.
Yeah,
if you think about it, it's like every people say, oh, you have so many competitors.
Yeah.
Who are my competitors? You have Gumball Rally, it's one rally a year, and they don't drive together, you know, and it's all about partying. We are not about that.
Yeah.
You have Gold Rush Rally. It's one time a year. It's great drive. A lot of my members are doing it. Do it. Yeah. It's a terrific experience.
I've known some people.
You know, you have Fuel Run. I love the people running Fuel Run. They are my friend. One of them is my member. You know, the thing is, like, if you look at it, you have the Porsche Club. Yes, it's good, but it's only for Porsche enthusiasts. Yeah. So after you have YPO, but YPO, a lot of people are going to say it's business. And, you know, a lot of my members are in YPO. I started to join, but the thing is different. What separates us is really the community and having fun together. I believe that life should be fun. You have one life. Enjoy it to the fullest, yet be healthy. But the reality of it is you only one life to enjoy. So go to it, you know, like have a good time, meet good people, enjoy it, share it, travel the world. If you join Fastlane and you follow Lemur, one of my members, she went to 15 events this year. She said, Clem, I have the biggest network than any people. She enjoys it. She having fun. So that is what separates me too.
I love that. And the final question is, what is your definition of success? And it sounds like I kind of get the idea, but I want you to bring it all together.
To have the freedom to be happy when you choose to be. And that is really my main goal on daily basis, is my happiness and my mental health. So, you know, the success is to be to a point you don't have to be worrying about things that you were worrying about before. You know, it's been a long time. I didn't have to worry about what I'm going to eat tomorrow. And I've been there. I really struggled. When I was a Uber driver, when I started my first business, I didn't know what I would eat the next day. And it's really hard. And for me, the success is really to have the freedom to be happy and do what makes you personally happy, not what other people think in your circle.
I like that. And a lot of people, like you mentioned earlier in the podcast, they don't see the crying, the struggle, the I can't pay the rent or whatever it may be in someone's life. At that time, they see the limelight and they see maybe a watch or a car, or they look on Instagram and see all these people showing off like the world is perfect, and it's never is. And I think as an entrepreneur, you get tougher and you get stronger with every failure. You also become a better person, and a person that also gains as we get older. You and I gains a little bit more calm and comfort. And I will say that success to me, just to add to what you said, because you've said it great, it's having opportunities.
Exactly.
You know,
and know how to take it. You know, that's why we said when I see a chapter that has a good opportunity, I take it and take your chance. And I believe that business is about luck, but people say it's luck, it's chance, it's dedication. It's knowing how to take your luck at a special time. And that is also what you just said. You know, the struggle. During COVID, I sold 30-40% of my stock at the lowest price, reinvesting into my business, not within my business, but be able to live. Yeah. But the reality, people don't see that, but I know about it. Yes, did we rebuild it after? But the reality, I sold at the lowest price. Yeah. And, you know, it's just to be able to not pay yourself during certain months.
Yep.
And right now it's the same
COVID.
Thing with Fastlane. For years and years and years, we never took $1 with my business partner, and even today we reinvest everything to grow it and really reinvest it to have a vision board, and that is really important for us.
That's excellent. Well, this has been like a great time. I hope you feel great. Usually I do these and people feel good after. You were a great guest. I'm thankful that you're here as a fellow Centurion member, a friend I can call, a person that's running a really cool company, actually a few, I should say. Thank you for sharing your experiences. I want to add, I think I also picked up from Clem that it's cool to take care of the business and so forth, but you have to take care of the body and the mind, because that's going to deliver on all fronts a little bit better. So respect your body out there. You look fit, and I think that's a big part of any success. And I would say you and I personally probably have met people that can be financially successful, but mentally they're just not there. And when you're not there mentally, or you're not there physically, success financially doesn't really matter.
And that weekend we do a full blog about it, about mental health and physical health, and they are all related. But the thing is, if your mental health is good, your body is following. But to have a good mental health, you need a good body to follow it. So, my non-negotiable in my life, and that will be the rest of my life, that's my dad education. Take care of your body first. Be healthy. Be sure that is really, it's always your top priority. And I have this conversation with my dad, who recently has been a little opposite into it. But that's your whole life gonna follow into it, and you're gonna prevent so many diseases. Yes, can another disease happen? Yes, it's genetics. But the thing is, you can pretty much cure all your disease by preventing it to be healthy.
It's respect to yourself. I mean, you respect your body and your mind, and that's what you should work on. Clem, been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Super happy you came on the podcast. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I hope our viewers enjoyed it, and I know they will, especially 2 Centurion members on the podcast. So thanks for coming. You're always welcome back. I'll see you at an event. Guys, check out Fastlane Drive on Instagram, on YouTube. We'll put the links below. Check out Clem on Instagram, and he's very kind. You could always reach out to him.
I answer everybody every day. Also on Fastlane. So if you have any question, you want to ask me anything, if you want to come shoot some video pictures at Evan, you are welcome to do too. We always accept people to do it. Apply. Fortunate is like we don't look too much for members, but at the opposite, if you want to come also see the cars, we are open to other people. We don't display the location too much in advance, but 1 or 2 days before to not go viral. But we are here to help. If you have a good idea for a charity, if you want us to come display the car for that, we are all for it.
That's awesome, man. And giving back, that's such a good thing that you guys do that. You're not just there with loud pipes and revving the engine. So that's really a very memorable thing to say. I think a lot of people that give back get it back. It's karma. Dude, this has been great.
Thank you so much.
And I enjoyed it, and we'll see you, I'm sure, in the future.
Let's do it. Thank you. Thank you, Simon.